the next 50 years. At this time, I would like to welcome Secretary Castro and Deputy Secretary Coloretti to the stage.
Hey, welcome everybody. This is fantastic. I'm really, really happy to be doing this event today. You're going to hear from a lot of amazing speakers, some of them from HUD and some of them who are helped by HUD's programs. So it's going to be very exciting. So for those in the audience and those tuning in the field, welcome to a year of progress, building a stronger HUD for the next 50 years. And so I know that I speak for Secretary Castro in saying it's an incredible privilege to serve our department and to help provide equal opportunity to every American. And we've been investing in our communities, big communities and small communities, urban and rural. We're working with our federal, our local, and our state and community partners to expand access to better schools, higher paying jobs, and safer streets. And many of these partners have joined us today, and I'd like to acknowledge all of your contributions to HUD and to the work that we're doing. In the words of President Lyndon Johnson, the man who created HUD, we're opening the gates of opportunity for millions of Americans, and we're providing them with the support they need to walk through those gates. And through our work in the last year, during a crucial moment in our nation's history, we've honored the legacy of this great department. So at a time when detractors view Washington as a place where nothing gets done, HUD has accomplished some amazing things in the last 365 days. We've been taking steps to preserve public housing, bolster our affordable rental market, and to make home ownership more affordable for hardworking families. We've helped folks get off the streets and into stable housing. And we've taken steps to provide our children with a fair chance at achieving their greatest dreams. So of course, none of this would be possible without HUD's incredible employees. Your dedication is truly, truly inspirational. That's why we've been focused on giving our employees an environment in which they can thrive. So the Secretary asked me when I first got on board some 7 months ago to conduct an in-depth review of our management and operations. We're calling that the deep dive, and I've learned a tremendous amount and lessons that will help us continue to build a stronger HUD. And we can't improve life for our employees without listening to their concerns. And I'm also proud to report that we have an annual employee viewpoint survey, and in 2015, we increased our participation in that survey to an all-time high of 73.5%, 74%. This is a federal survey that every agency takes, and HUD is hovering at the bottom in participation and in results. So what we tried to do here was to try to ask people to actually fill the survey out so we can learn more about how to make things better here. It's a 22% increase from last year, and it's the second highest improvement in federal government. So. Someone said to me that, if you kind of band together and set a lofty goal, you can reach it. So this is really proving that we can. We set a pretty lofty goal, and we are just 1% off reaching it. So thanks again to everybody for their extraordinary service, and one more round of applause to all of employees at HUD. So in order to expand opportunity across the nation, we at HUD, we harness every tool at our disposal, and that includes listening to research and listening to evidence, to hear what it is telling us and to learn from it. Kathy O'Regan, she's our Assistant Secretary for Policy Development and Research, and she's put together a fantastic presentation that shows what I'm talking about. And so I want to invite her up here to show why our department is so important and how much work still remains. Please welcome Kathy O'Regan.
Thank you, Nani. So I appreciate the chance to have just a few minutes with you to do some framing remarks. These are really just to be placing the HUD's work in the context of some broader trends in the nation and highlighting the importance of our work. So when Secretary Castro first came, I think it was day one, he turned around and he summarized immediately what the value of our work is, which is it's about opportunity, right? So the housing and community development efforts and programs that we run are meant to open up the opportunity to families and individuals for improved lives, right? So basically, quality, affordable housing and strong communities are necessary ingredients for the types of lives that we strive for. Now there's been some recent research and some national conversations that are making that case for us also, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So let's start with thinking about opportunity, right? So America prides itself on being a land of opportunity. And when we say that, we mean that if individuals work hard enough, they should succeed. That a child's birth and circumstances at birth should not be a determinant of their future. And then we roll out some very compelling stories, and we have lots of them, of kids born into modest means who then make great leaps in one generation. But what do we know systematically about the ability to do that in the United States? Well, from the research and the data, if you actually look at most of the measures that researchers use to look at intergenerational mobility, the United States does not look very good compared to other similar countries. So as some examples, there was this nice recent study that looked across 50 studies and compared to 9 countries, found the US ranked last with the United Kingdom. And what do those numbers mean for a person's life, right? In the United States, a child born in the lowest quartile of incomes, so the bottom 25%, has about a 46% chance of remaining there as an adult. So if you compare us to Canada, we are 14 percentage points higher on a stickiness of looking like your parents as adults. In the United States, one of the biggest components of that immobility is that's striking is to look at the racial disparities, right? So in the United States, a white child born in the bottom 25% of incomes has about a 32% chance of remaining there as an adult. Same circumstances, but for a black child in the United States, he or she is twice as likely as the white child to remain in the bottom as an adult, a 63% chance of remaining in the bottom 25%. So those are striking differences. And there's been some recent work that looked to see whether or not there's been improvement over time. We look about the same in our overall mobility as we have for the past 50 years. So that's the mobility conversation that has been coming up amidst another conversation about growing inequality in the United States, right? So income and wealth inequality have been increasing. Income inequality since the 1970s, so that we've hit a level now that we haven't seen since 1928. And wealth disparities have been increasing since the 1990s and are even larger than income inequality. And so the reason these two things are coming together is if you think about a world in which income gaps are very small, so there's very little difference across the population, then immobility and stickiness is less troubling. The bigger those gaps in inequality, the more important it is that you're not getting a fair shot in the first place, right? Because there's a really big difference in the end on where you land. And that's the way this has been being talked about in the country. So Janet Yellen, the chairwoman for the Federal Reserve Bank, has been talking about increasing inequality and what it means and says about equal opportunity as a national issue for the last year. And we've been having conversations and hearing from politicians and policymakers both on the left and the right, because the underlying notion of equal opportunity is so fundamental in the US. And this trend and these patterns suggest we may be failing on that. So that's the backdrop for the newest research. I'm thinking many of you have seen this in the press because it's been all over the press. The recent research by Raj Chetty and co-authors up at Harvard, and what they've done in one piece of their work is they've taken data from HUD's Moving to Opportunity demonstration, MTO, and looked over a longer haul. So MTO was a demonstration that HUD funded to answer a fundamental question, which is how much do neighborhoods matter for the outcomes for low-income families? We actually didn't know the answer to the question. The Chetty work takes those data and adds IRS records, so it's a nice example of using data to really push what we can learn, and looks at the kids' outcomes as adults. So essentially directly asking that intergenerational question, right? When you look at their incomes as adults, the key finding, and this is why it's been so important, is that you actually see that the low-income, very low-income kids who got access to better neighborhoods when they were young were more likely to go to college, went to better colleges, and had significantly higher earnings as adults. All else the same. They didn't receive additional income supports, nothing else. We just changed their access to good neighborhoods. So this is what's capturing a lot of attention, right? It's confirming what we already know here at HUD. Place matters. It matters for the outcomes for the families that we serve. We also know there are great disparities in access to good neighborhoods in the United States by income and by race. There was a recent research from Stanford, and my job here is to say research in almost every slide we go through because that's my hat that I wear here. But the research from Stanford showed that the typical middle-income African-American family in the United States lives in a neighborhood with lower incomes than the typical low-income white family, right? So if you put these two things together, that place matters for upward mobility, and then we have large disparities in place, that combination may explain one of the reasons that mobility is low in the United States compared to other countries. It also means that we can use place to increase upward mobility in this country, right? Place as in the house that a family gets to live in, the neighborhood that it's embedded in, and the larger community in which it lives, right? That's HUD. That's our work. Our job and the work that we do is exactly to work on places so that they are a platform for upward mobility. So that's what today's about. That's all the general and the research, and now we're going to go into the specific stories and programs that the Secretary has focused on in this year and things he's focusing on to do exactly this. Use place to increase upward mobility. Thank you, and I'm going to hand it over back to Nani.
Thank you for all your great research. So now I'd like to share a testimonial from one of HUD's closest allies, Houston Mayor Annise Parker. When President Obama issued a challenge to local leaders to join forces to help our nation finally end veterans' homelessness, Mayor Parker was one of the first to answer this call. Mayor Parker and the folks in Houston are a big reason why we're making progress towards fulfilling the President's goal. And although the mayor couldn't be here today, she took time to record a video, so let's take a look.
I also know that he misses his job as mayor because it's a whole lot more fun. I am proud that the city of Houston has effectively and virtually ended veterans' homelessness. Could not have done it without the close coordination and cooperation with the folks at HUD. I appreciate so much that there are people who commit to making the world a better place for our most vulnerable. And many of them have come to work for Housing and Urban Development, including Secretary Castro. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor Parker. Now I have the privilege of introducing several people who can attest to the powerful difference HUD has made in their lives. Each has experienced HUD from a different perspective, and their collective experiences are a testament to how the far-reaching impact of our department. So first I'm going to introduce Portia Williams. Portia is a mother of two and a Navy veteran who served both in Iraq and Afghanistan. She was deployed during the capture of Osama bin Laden and in an operation against Somalian pirates. Yet, despite her valor and her sacrifice, Portia had trouble getting a job when she returned to the United States, and as a result, she became homeless. But thanks to HUD, she and her family have found a place to call home, and they have a chance to achieve a brighter tomorrow. So let's welcome up to the stage Portia Williams.
Good morning. Really quick, she just basically told you everything. I have 2 young children. My daughter is 2, my son is 7. We had hit a rough patch. They had raised our rent from $12.50 to $14.50, which left us homeless. I was homeless from November until May. I stayed at shelters. I stayed with my brother, some nights with my mom, cousins, friends, uncles, aunts. I've been a little bit of everywhere. I left and went to Georgia, came back here, and I was like, you know what? I have to do something. Something has to happen. Now, I was told that the housing list was 18 years long, so I was kind of deterred from doing that until I went to a veteran referral center on Franklin Street, and they referred me to the VASH program. Now, this is the great part. I went and applied for my VASH voucher on Friday. That following Friday, I was opening the keys to my new apartment. The department, the housing authority, Ms. Todman, Ms. Hamra, Mr. Moon, he's not here today, they were awesome. They expedited it so fast. And because of them, they have inspired me. You guys, you have changed my life so much that now I want to change lives. This is an important day for me because I'm opening my nonprofit. I'm getting ready to purchase an apartment building to help the effort get the veterans off of the street. So this is a big day, and not just housed, because, you know, after you get in the house, you have to be able to keep your house. I, want to help with job resources. I want to help with, filing for your claims and just the holistic approach, because when they leave my shelter, I want them to succeed like I am. And I thank you. You all mean so much to me and my 2 young children. And I look forward to meeting a lot of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Portia, for your service and for your moving words. And your story proves why the fight to end veterans' homelessness is really important, so important. But HUD isn't just committed to ending veterans' homelessness, we're determined to end chronic homelessness as well. And that brings us to our next speaker, Nicholas Hagan. Nicholas is currently a resident at the JBJ Homes in Philadelphia. This development, which provides formerly homeless and low-income individuals with affordable housing, has received $1.5 million in funding from HUD. Nicholas has lived at the JBJ for about 8 months now, and he would like to speak about his experiences there. So please give a warm hand of applause to Nicholas Hagan.
First, I'd like to say I'm incredibly nervous, not used to being around a group of people. This speech that I wrote doesn't do justice to the amount of help that I've received through Project Home. Having the resources available to make a go at life again is incredibly helpful, and having people like you that actually care about us, and it's not just a job, is beyond measure, because I couldn't make it without you guys, and that's the God's honest truth. Thank you, Secretary Castro, and to all of you for inviting me to be part of this event. My name is Nicholas Hagan. I've been a resident at Project Home for roughly 8 months now. I grew up in Wilmington, Delaware, where I was homeless for about 3 years. As I look back, I realized that it is only by the grace of God, through my Lord Jesus Christ, and the help of people and resources made available to me, that I am alive and thriving today. As a youth, I got involved with drugs, eventually leading me away from the Lord and into a life of addiction. I was in and out of detox centers, mental health institutions, and rehabs trying to break the grip of addiction. It came to a point where my family had enough and kicked me out. This is when I first became familiar with the deep loneliness and isolation of being homeless, a feeling I never got used to. One night, I couldn't make it in time for dinner at an overnight shelter, and I found myself at a church door looking for something to eat. They invited me in and prayed for me. I always had felt the pull of God in my life, loving, providing, and tried to put me on the right path. And that night, I accepted Christ into my life. I left the church with 3 garbage bags full of food. While walking and searching for a place to sleep, I felt the presence of Christ with me, literally walking behind me on my left side. He asked if there was anything that he could help me with. I asked him if he could help carry these bags because they were getting too heavy. Instantly, they weighed nothing, and I was able to walk 6 to 8 blocks and to be able to find a place to sleep. While sharing a bench with a friend for the night, he suggested that I go to Philadelphia because there was more services there to help people who are homeless. I made my way and ended up in a shelter called Fernwood. I was grateful to be there, but in a shelter you can never fully rest. You're never truly by yourself and have a peace of mind. I felt I had to constantly watch out for myself. After a year and a half there, I was at the end of my emotional and spiritual rope. I was blessed with a faithful caseworker, Laura, and through a program called Fast Connections, I was connected to a therapist who helped me work through some of the issues I had. She helped me to get the medicine I needed and eventually get into housing at John Bon Jovi Soul Homes, Project Home's newest housing program. Now I have more than I could ever imagine. I have a beautiful studio apartment with a loving environment of people who are on my side and who have the resources to help me. I meet regularly with my program manager, Christina. I participate in group therapy and receive counseling from a psychologist there. I have been involved in a gardening program and have planted flowers out on our terrace. I was recently accepted in the Project Home's resident intern program, in which I will get on-the-job training and be able to gain employment. The people who work at Project Home are not just doing a job. They actually care about me and others, and they are truly invested in helping me become the person I hope to be. To have a key to my own place in this loving community gives me a sense of security and dependability. I feel safe and confident, and I have a peace of mind that I can spring out from this stable ground to seek opportunities for myself, knowing I always have a safe place to come home to. Watching how God has put people and resources in my life to guide me has taught me that the most important investment we can make is in other people. There is no person who is not worth investing in. The more we care for one another and the more we empower our people with love, opportunities to grow, the stronger our country becomes. And if we do so, we will continue to shine as a land of opportunity, love, and freedom, one nation under God. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nicholas, for sharing your inspirational story. Our next speaker is Nick Tilson. Nick is the executive director at Thunder Valley Community Development Corporation, a Native American nonprofit. It's located on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota. So as the leader of the Pine Ridge Promise Zone, Thunder Valley works to promote small business development, solve infrastructure challenges, and expand access to quality, affordable housing. Soon after he joined HUD, Secretary Castro visited Pine Ridge Indian Reservation and had a chance to see their incredible work firsthand. So please welcome Nick Tilson.
Hamadakyapi, Nick Tilson Amachapi, Chante Washte Nape Chuzapalo. I greet you in my languages this morning. My name is Nick Tilson. I'm a citizen of the Oglala Lakota Nation, but most importantly, a father of 4 children. I would like to start off by saying Midakuyase, which means that we are all related. Every one of us in here and all living things. Our work on Pine Ridge has been about rallying the local people together to create a vision for what we wanted for the future of our nation. In the community that I come from, it's one of the poorest places in America, with 80% unemployment, extreme housing shortage. But we're beginning to change that, and we're changing that in partnership with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and other federal agencies. And in our work, we started off with a prayer. We started off with a belief that we can change the outcomes that we're in. And several years ago, we decided that we were going to create a planned community from scratch that would begin to address the housing and economic problems facing our people. And on that pathway, many people told us our vision was too big. Many people told us that you couldn't create a net zero energy development in the poorest place in America, and you couldn't do it because the money wasn't right. The vision was too big. But every single time along that pathway, me and my staff, my community, our tribal leaders, and our people said that our dream and our vision has to be at least as big as the challenge that we're faced with. And I'm really excited that after years of planning, engaging leaders, that on June 22nd last month, we broke ground for phase 1 of our development at Thunder Valley. And it was a big day for our community, and it was a big day for our people. And I'm proud of the staff at Thunder Valley and of our tribal leaders of helping make it happen. And it's been because we didn't deal with housing in a silo. It's been because we didn't deal with housing, youth, economics separately. Those things are one and the same. It's an integrated approach of solving those problems and letting the community be the leaders of solving those problems. And we did it together. We've done it through engaging young people, everything from community gardens to the learning of building houses. And we've done it through the lens of understanding that people, planet, and prosperity, that we have to solve those problems through that lens every single time that we look at a challenge that's faced in our community. And lastly, we did it together. That we, in our language, we have something, we say unkie, which means we. And together, that means we are better together. And so, Secretary Castro, congratulations on 1 year. Could we give Secretary Castro a round of applause? Lastly, I want to thank the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for its commitment to Indian country. That there's tribally designated housing authorities and Native American nonprofits all throughout Indian country that roll up their sleeves every day to solve the housing problems facing Indian country. And HUD has been a huge part of help making that happen. And so I want to thank everybody in the room here today. And I believe truly from the bottom of my heart that we can solve all the housing problems facing Indian country because we can do it together. Thank you very much.
All right, this is a joint introduction for speakers 4 and 5. That's where we are right now. So thank you, Nick, first of all, for providing your insight and all your great work on behalf of the people in Pine Ridge. And I want to next welcome Paul and Tamika Gary, a couple from right here in Washington, D.C. And I know they're a couple because when I met them upstairs, Paul introduced himself as Paul, Tamika's husband. So that's what I'm going to call him now forever. So the Geary family overcame several personal challenges to become proud homeowners in the northeast section of our city. HUD's recent MIP reduction, it's our rate reduction, made the American dream more affordable for Paul and Tamika, and they've been generous enough to share their story with us today. So please welcome Tamika and Paul, Tamika's husband, Gary.
I'm Tamika's husband, Paul.
Good morning, I'm Tamika. Thank you for allowing us to have this opportunity to speak of our experience. We've been married for about 8 years. We have 4 kids. And thank you.
And 3 grandkids.
So I work in IT and Paul does home renovation. And a few years ago, we thought we were at the top of our game. We had homes, we were happy, and everything was kosher. And Paul injured himself on the job. He had spinal surgery, and then that's when things went downhill. We lost everything during the housing crisis. But it was also a wake-up call in the sense that we actually became a lot more humble.
Yes.
Lived with family, continued working, but the hardest challenge for us was keeping a smile for our kids. And we have all girls, so that was really important. And then a few years ago, we just decided that all of this hard work, we're going to try to do it again. And we stepped out on faith. And we had an amazing realtor and an awesome lender who really helped us throughout the process. I think we've had 10 to 12 contracts on homes in the DC area because living in DC was really important to us. And all of those contracts fell through, save one. And we were blessed to be able to buy a home on Sheriff Road, Northeast. And everything's great, and we're just really grateful because now we have a happy home through the 203K program, which allows us to really make that our dream home. So thank you. And,
Thank you, but that's not it. I used to hear people mention HUD all the time, and you would just, HUD, okay, how do you spell it? It's H-U-D, okay. It's just HUD, it was just letters, it didn't mean anything. You know, you hear 7-Eleven is just a store you go to get coffee. But when we actually found out what HUD could do, we were like, wow, this is not just HUD. So you can't just say HUD all the time. You actually have to say what it means, the meaning for HUD. Because when they stepped in, I said I wasn't gonna cry. Barbara Walters in the room. Anyway, when we found out what they actually meant and what the purpose of HUD was, it wasn't just abbreviation anymore. So I think from now on, when you say HUD, you have to mention exactly what HUD means. Because you guys, I'm not sure who everybody is, but you guys sit back and you're superheroes, but you get no congratulations. You get no thanks.
Yes.
You're not even sure why you still do the job that you were doing. But when we come up and tell you our stories, homeless, veteran, reservation, homeless, broke, poor people again, and now we're back in the home. Okay, I'm not gonna cry, but thank you.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul and Tamika, and congratulations again on your new home. Our next speaker is Reba Watkins. Reba Watkins. Reba works at Everyone On. Everyone On is a national nonprofit dedicated to narrowing our nation's digital divide. And Everyone On is playing a crucial role in Connect Home. That's HUD's new initiative to accelerate broadband adoption by children and families living in HUD-assisted housing. So Reba's going to come up and talk about how Connect Home can expand opportunity in the 21st century. So please welcome Reba Watkins. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Reba Watkins, and I work with Everyone On. And I am here because I'm actually a native of the area. I attended local area schools, high schools. I went to Howard. So I'm very familiar with this area. I'm from here, born and raised. And like a lot of folks who are from here and attend school here, I grew up with relatives and family members and friends who weren't connected at home. And so I've witnessed the difficulties in applying for college and applying for jobs and even some healthcare programs. I've witnessed folks having to stay late at school or at McDonald's or Starbucks to be able to utilize the free Wi-Fi in order to get their work done or in order to, better their lives. I've seen the difficulties that both of my parents had, they're older, in trying to re-enter the job force without the digital skills necessary to compete with those who do have it today. And so that's why we're so happy at Everyone On to be collaborating with the Department of HUD and Secretary Castro and his fundamental vision to provide digital opportunity to those folks who need it the most, to those families who are the most vulnerable, and to end those cycles of poverty by providing this digital opportunity. One of the first projects that I worked on actually at Everyone On, this is my second year here. We started in 2012, and last year I was actually able to attend we were working with Best Buy and their Geek Squad, and we did a Train the Trainer digital literacy training session at one of the public housing authorities here in DC. And I was able to see how these residents were able to take their technology savvy and enhance those skills, and then take those skills and bring them to the residents around them. And so we're sustaining those skills and providing those skills not only to just those folks, but to the whole entire community. And so that's why I'm glad we're to have on board at Connect Home, PBS and the Khan Academy and GitHub, and folks who are able to provide not only the basic digital skills, but then the intermediate digital skills and those advanced digital skills to take these families out of the cycle of poverty that we've seeing them in. And so thank you very much, Secretary Castro, for all that you're doing and bringing digital opportunity to these families, and thank you for allowing us to help. And we're very much looking forward to helping get everyone connected over the next few years. Thank you.
Thank you, Reba. And thank you to all of today's great speakers for volunteering your time. And let's give them all another round of applause. It's always very humbling to share the stage with speakers like we've had this morning. So I do now have the pleasure, though, of introducing our final speaker. In his first year at Secretary, sometimes we call that your HUD-iversary, he has brought his unique insight, energy, and perspective to HUD. He's traveled across the nation to learn from people we serve and to expand opportunity for all Americans. And he's inspired me and everyone else at HUD with his compassion and his dedication to this mission. He's focused on building an even brighter future for our department. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome HUD Secretary Julian Castro.
Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank you so much. First, let me say to you, Nani, thank you very much for the energy and the excellence and the drive that you've brought just in your first few months here at HUD. You have made quite a difference. Let's say a big thank you to our Deputy Secretary. Thank you. And I also want to thank our Assistant Secretary, Kathy O'Regan, for that very powerful presentation. I get the feeling that's not the first time that you've done that, Kathy, because you're so good at it. And you drove home the points that we need to know very well, that what we're doing, the investments that we're making matter, and our investment in place matters. Thank you for your great work, to you and your team. And let's have Kathy's team stand and be recognized for their work. Where are they at? That is actually more impressive than if they were actually here. Congratulate them for me. They're watching on screen. All right, where's the camera? So we can say hi. There you go. Thank y'all for your work. I also want to just take a moment to say a special thanks to Betsaida Alcantara, our Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs. This is Betsaida's last week We are losing her. We're very, very sorry to lose her. She's taking a great position with the Hillary Clinton presidential campaign. Where's Betsaida? There you are. Betsaida. Betsaida has just done a tremendous job. She and I started on the same day, and so she's celebrating her year anniversary tomorrow. We're sorry to see you go, but we know that you're going to continue to do great work and contribute to the advancement of other folks and help people wherever you are. So thank you, Betsaida. Let me also thank all of our honored guests who spoke earlier. They have very powerful stories that put into very clear perspective the importance of the work that HUD does. And all of you were so eloquent. Thank you very much for being here and for being great role models. We're also joined today by policymakers, by staffers from congressional and mayoral offices, by service providers, and other vital partners. I want to thank all of you for being here. Your collaboration means so much to all of us at HUD, and we're deeply appreciative of your partnership. We know that this work and the outcomes that we see in people's lives would not be nearly as possible without your work. In fact, oftentimes, and as a former mayor, I know you're the ones who are on the ground making it happen. So let's give our partners out there a big round of applause for their work. And finally, I'd like to recognize the folks who make HUD such a force for progress, the employees here at headquarters and everyone who works in one of our 64 offices around the nation. Thank y'all for the great work that you do. You're important to our mission. Your dedication, your talent, your effort is what makes us an effective champion for those that we serve. And it truly has been a privilege to work with you. And this first year has been exciting, and so I can't wait for the next 18 months. 1 year ago this week, I had the honor of being sworn in as the 16th Secretary of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. And as you might imagine, it wasn't easy to leave home. A city of San Antonio that I was born in. I had the great honor of serving as mayor, and that I get back to as many times as I can these days. But I truly felt compelled to take on this new role because I'm convinced that opportunity shouldn't be a luxury, because every American deserves a chance to share in and contribute to our nation's prosperity. Because when we invest in people, we invest in our future. And because our nation simply can't afford to limit any person's potential in this increasingly competitive 21st century global economy, we need everyone's talent and ability and perspective to truly thrive and to compete. And I know, as well as you do, that HUD plays a vital role in making these goals a living and breathing reality, from families from New York to New Mexico, California to Texas, Washington to Florida. On my first day here, I called HUD the Department of Opportunity because of the unique impact we can make on the lives of all Americans. 50 years ago, President Johnson said that our work could give, quote, every family a home of dignity, a neighborhood of pride, and a city of hope. Every day, we help families secure quality, affordable housing and ensure that opportunity doesn't stop at their front door, connecting folks with the jobs, the schools, the transit options, the green spaces, and other assets that they need to thrive. So HUD is more than just housing. It's education and transportation. It's economic development and a clean environment. It's about giving folks the tools they need to build a brighter future. And every one of our 8,000 employees should take pride and knowing that before we shut off the computers, turn off the lights, and leave the office today, we're going to help a person get off the streets and into housing. We're going to work with local leaders to create stronger neighborhoods. We're going to help spark economic growth, whether it's building a house on a construction site, installing solar panels on a rooftop, or improving a city's infrastructure. And we're going to come back tomorrow, turn the lights on, turn the computers back on, get to work, and make a difference once again. This much is clear. HUD matters. In fact, as Kathy showed, our work is as important as it ever has been. Our economy has changed since our department was founded in 1965. Many Americans have lost their jobs to automation. The competition for businesses is no longer just across the street, it's across the globe. Many folks out there feel like it's getting harder and harder to reach the middle class. And we know in this building and in our field offices that HUD must do business in a new way to help folks succeed in this new age. We've got to make housing a platform that families can use to get the skills and the tools they need to make it in the 21st century. And I'm proud to say that building on the work of former Secretary Donovan, this has been a year of progress for HUD. Our opportunity agenda has made home ownership more affordable for responsible families. In January, we lowered the Federal Housing Administration's mortgage insurance premium because hardworking folks shouldn't be priced out of the American dream. And everybody who is ready to own a home should be able to own a home. And now, more folks like Tamika and Paul can put down roots and build wealth for themselves and for their children. We're also helping to strengthen the housing market. Existing home sales are at their highest level in 8 years. And we're going to keep taking steps to ensure that FHA continues to provide a pathway to prosperity for the American people. Indeed, HUD's opportunity agenda is also bringing our nation closer to a goal that was unthinkable just a couple of years ago. Too often in the past, a person sleeping on the street was an accepted part of the urban landscape, almost like a street lamp or a newspaper stand. Our nation cannot stand for that, which is why President Obama created Opening Doors, the first federal strategic plan to actually aim at ending homelessness. And in just 4 years, we've seen chronic homelessness fall 21% and veteran homelessness fall 33%. And when individuals like Nick and Portia are thriving, our communities are better off, and our entire nation is stronger. Mayor Parker from Houston and Mayor Landrieu in New Orleans have proven that our ambitious goals are possible to achieve. And HUD is going to keep working with our partners until that day when we can all open up our newspapers and read the headline, United States Ends Homelessness, once and for all. And what a day that's going to be. Our opportunity agenda is also striving to shape a housing market that values, respects, and welcomes all Americans. The Fair Housing Act of 1968 was created to ensure that every person has an equal chance to access quality housing, no matter who they are or what they look like, how they worship, or where they're from. Earlier this month, HUD released its new Affirmatively Furthering Fair Housing Rule to fulfill the full promise of the Fair Housing Act, promoting greater housing mobility with housing choice vouchers investing in local communities and distressed neighborhoods, and empowering local leaders with new data to prioritize investments in their communities. And we're going to work with our partners to give folks, regardless of their background, the chance to contribute to their full potential today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. The fact is that in this 21st century global economy, these efforts require more than just housing and other community assets. It also requires access to the internet and the world of knowledge and enrichment that comes with it. I don't have to tell any of y'all that technology has intimately transformed how we live, learn, and work. But not everyone has been able to participate in these developments. Less than half of the poorest American households have a home internet subscription. And think about the barriers they face in a world where 90% of college applications and 80% of job openings with Fortune 500 companies are done through the web. We've got to give everyone that fair shot, which is why HUD launched Connect Home 2 weeks ago. Working with public, private, and nonprofit partners like Reba Watkins and Everyone On, this effort will accelerate broadband internet adoption in 28 communities and help up to 200,000 children gain access to the life-changing opportunities that are available online. It's going to provide broadband and electronic devices to young people living in public and assisted housing. And it's not just making the internet more accessible, it's also making it more meaningful for students and their parents by offering technical assistance and digital literacy training so they can make the most of this opportunity. At a time when folks can learn and do business with the swipe of a screen, we can't allow young people to be held back because they don't have broadband. Now, thanks to Connect Home, many of them will never fall behind in the first place. And finally, we're working to ensure that the opportunities I'm talking about reach every corner of our nation, from big cities to small towns to Indian country. I've said many times during my year at HUD that although we are named the Department of Housing and Urban Development, we could just as easily be named the Department of Housing and Community Development, because our work extends just about everywhere in the United States. Last September, I had the privilege of visiting tribal communities in South and North Dakota. I saw firsthand during my visit how their housing needs outpace available resources. In one instance, I saw 17 people living in a 4-bedroom house in Pine Ridge, including 2 families who lived in the basement. But I was also struck by the resilience and the pride and the ingenuity that exists in our tribal regions. Every single day, Native Americans make important contributions to our national life, and HUD is proud to work with folks like Nick Tilson to forge a better tomorrow for our tribes. Thank you, Nick, for being here. He already talked about how HUD has helped fuel growth in Thunder Valley. And to build on this progress across the nation, last year I announced $60 million in funding for more than 90 tribal communities to improve housing conditions and enhance economic development. We expanded HUD-VASH to invest $4 million in helping Native American homeless veterans secure housing. And we'll keep working with our partners to ensure that tribal communities get their fair chance to realize the American dream. And as you know, this is just some of what we've accomplished together in this last year. No one speech can capture the full scope of the great work of the people who call themselves employees of HUD. No words can adequately express the difference that we've made in people's lives, although y'all have done a tremendous job today. But it is clear our efforts over the past year have spurred progress, block by block, community by community, nation by nation. And it's only been possible because of the talented HUD team. The dedicated public servants who work across the nation are the reason why our department is such a powerful agent of change and a force for good. And when they're given the support and the opportunities they need, our entire nation benefits. That's why I've been so focused on building a stronger HUD, creating new efforts to help our employees learn new skills, to find new opportunities so they can apply those skills, and to grow into positions with more responsibility. And we want to keep supporting our great employees. And that begins by encouraging all of you to make your voices heard. To reiterate what Nani said, I'm proud that HUD's response rate to the annual Employee Viewpoint Survey jumped from 51% last year to more than 73%, the highest in our department's history and the second highest increase ever in the federal government. And I had them check on that twice, Nani, so it's true, or somebody's in trouble. And over the next year and a half, we're going to keep striving to make HUD an even better place to work. To integrate this opportunity agenda with HUD's core business, to continue to make housing a platform that helps folks achieve a better quality of life, and to better measure our outcomes so that we can make an even more powerful case to Congress as to why HUD needs to keep making and enhance its many investments. None of us can accomplish this work alone. It takes collaboration among all the folks in this room, the folks who are watching, and so many people in local communities across the United States. So I just want to end where I begin, by offering my deepest gratitude to all of you. Thank you to the HUD family for welcoming me and for all that you do on behalf of the American people. Thank you to our stakeholders for your support, your guidance, and your commitment to our common goal, a strong housing market that provides opportunity to everyone. And my thanks to all of you in advance for the great things we're going to accomplish over the next 543 days of this administration. Ralph Abernathy, the civil rights icon, once said that, quote, "I don't know what the future may hold, but I know who holds the future." It's all of you. Well, I know that the next chapter of our nation's communities will be written in no small part by everyone who is listening today. Let's ensure that this chapter represents a time when opportunity is expanding and rising across our nation. A time when every American has access to quality housing in strong communities. A time when struggling families gain new hope for the future because of our work. And a time when we ensure that the 21st century is another American century. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. You may have seen yourself in those photos. I don't know if you were looking, but there will be a photo line up here with the Secretary. If you want to take a picture, come on up, and I'll call Secretary Castro back up here. Thanks, everybody. Come on up.